Hey guys! So I know you might be starting your online business while also still working full-time or part-time or somewhere in between. So for today's video, I thought I would go over a number of tips and tricks to help you come up with a routine and a schedule that allows you to make progress on your store, to grow your store, to keep learning what you need to learn in order to run your business, but also helps you avoid burnout and will allow you to be the most efficient. So when people are starting a business, others will often share the advice that you need to create processes, which I personally hate hearing. Or I might have liked it at first, but I wasn't ever able to truly figure out how to go about it, especially not in the beginning. And let me tell you why. So when you're first starting out, you probably aren't getting 20 sales a day that you need to create a process for in order to ship those sales or ship those products and get your products in the mail. If that's the case, then you absolutely need to create processes. But when you're first getting started, you're trying to figure out how to run your business and figure out what to learn and where to focus your time and your energy. So you don't really need to create a process for that. But instead, what I recommend you do is to create habits. And by that, I mean create habits that will allow you to spend time working on your store every day, but also making progress that actually drives results as opposed to just doing random busy work at random that never really gets you anywhere. So the reason I bring this up is because when I first started my own store, I felt like I was constantly spending, let's say, 5 minutes here on Instagram and then 20 minutes on email, and then I would watch a 5-minute SEO strategy video, and I just felt like I was bouncing all over the place. But a month would go by and I just felt like I hadn't really gotten anywhere and I hadn't really learned that much. So what I recommend instead of just filling your time up with all this busy work is to focus on deep work. There's a book called Deep Work, written by Cal Newport, where he explains that in order to be successful and to achieve anything of value in today's modern world full of distractions and social media and all this craziness, you have to learn how to go deep, or to carve out time where you specifically pick a certain task and you do nothing but focus on that task. You get rid of all distractions, you go on Do Not Disturb, you don't check your email, you don't get on social media, and you don't click on any other websites. That whole time, you just focus on that task. So how this kind of translates into what I'm talking about is, let's say that you want to learn how to create Facebook advertisements, and you want to learn how to find your target audience. Well, that's going to take some effort because you're not going to know what to do the first time you get on there. There's a learning curve. So what you can do is, let's say you enroll in a course online that's self-paced. Let's say every single morning you wake up and you spend an hour and a half on that course, and then at the end of that hour and a half, you are able to go to work, or you log on to work, depending on whether you're working remote or working in an office. And then you come home and let's say you eat dinner, watch 30 minutes of Netflix, and then you spend the next hour and a half working on your store again. So the point here is you need to come up with processes, and you need to find a routine that works for you. Maybe you're not a morning person. Maybe you can't get up an hour and a half earlier and work on your store before going to your day job. If that's the case, then you need to carve out time at the end of the day, or maybe you have time on your lunch hour. You just need to find a routine or a schedule that works for you and your store and enables you to actually make progress and learn what you need to learn in order to make your store grow. So let me share an example of something that I struggled with when I first opened my store. So I wanted to take pictures of my products for my social media, for my website, but I always came up with excuses to get out of taking those pictures. So the problem was that I would want to take pictures of myself, but I would always come up with excuses like, Basically, anytime I eat food, my stomach will get super bloated and double in size, and I just always use that as an excuse to not take pictures. I'm like, ugh, well, I'm so hungry, I can't not eat, so I can't take pictures today because I'm gonna feel all bloated. Or maybe the sun would be going down and I'd be like, ugh, the lighting's terrible, I can't take any flat lays. I just always came up with these excuses. So one thing that I finally did to get rid of those excuses and avoid them and make sure that I had no excuses left is I got to a point where I decided that every morning I would wake up, I would immediately get ready, do my hair, do my makeup, and take pictures. I didn't care if I got 10 good ones, 2 good ones, it didn't matter. I just needed to get in the habit of taking these pictures every day because it was something I struggled with. And I needed to just get it over with during the day, the first thing in the morning, and that way I didn't have to worry about it the rest of the day, and then that way I could go actually eat lunch and not feel guilty about it. So my point here is that you need to figure out what your top priority tasks are and then come up with a way to build it into your daily routine and make it a habit. Because let's face it, we're never going to feel like working on our business, especially those nitty-gritty tasks or those tasks that require a lot of focus and research. We're just never going to feel like it. And if we wait until we feel like it, it's never going to happen. So if instead you start to make those tasks a habit that you incorporate into your routine every single day or every single week, then you'll start to get the ball rolling and you'll start to make progress. So my recommendation is to pick out 6 items that can help you improve your store, something that you either need to learn or work on, whatever. But find a way to incorporate that task into your routine every single day or every single week. So one example would be, let's say you set a schedule where on Mondays you work on Facebook advertisements, Tuesdays you take new pictures of your products, Wednesdays you work on your email campaigns, Thursdays you create social media posts, Fridays maybe you take a break, Saturday you spend time with your family, and then Sunday you work on whatever's left, Pinterest strategy or something. Either way, you are coming up with a routine and a set schedule, and then you are showing up every single day and making that progress. Because what happens is the compound effect, where eventually over time, you will have made so much progress. If you come back and look at this progress in like a month or 6 months, you will be amazed at how much you've achieved in that short amount of time. So every day, find a way to carve out time at a set time where you can go deep and focus on a particular task and get the ball rolling. So pick out those 6 items and then make sure you're tracking the progress on those items every week. So what I recommend is to come up with a system where at the end of every week you reflect back on what you were able to achieve. Now another recommendation I have is that you don't only focus on what you were and weren't able to get done, but you also track your accomplishments. Because I know personally what it's like to get really down on yourself because you didn't get as much done as you expected to or you wanted to, and then beat yourself up. I am so guilty of that. So what works for me is to track my accomplishments. I write down what I accomplished that week, because when you look back at it, you'll realize you got so much done. It just might not feel like it. But when you take a look at it on pen and paper, and you're like, wow, I actually did a lot. Maybe I can feel good about myself this week. And that way you aren't so stressed all the time because you're not making as much progress as quickly as you want to be. Another piece of advice is to make sure you avoid burnout. So I know I'm sitting here and telling you, like, spend all this time, like, working on your store, all of your free time working on your store. But the reality is you also need to make sure you're taking time for yourself to check in on your mental health, to make sure you're still eating healthy and getting exercise and spending time with friends and family. Definitely do not avoid your friends and family because you're working on your store all the time, because that's not going to be healthy for you in the long run. And if you don't find a balance that works for you in this schedule, you will face serious burnout and you will crash and burn so hard. And then from there, it's going to be so hard to get back to it and get back motivated. If you do burn out, it's going to take you a very long time to get back in the habit of working on your store. So find a routine that works for you, that makes sense, that allows you to be efficient, that allows you to make progress and learn all the things you need to learn to grow your store, but also gives you free time to spend with your friends and family and take care of yourself. So to summarize, pick 6 things that you want to work on. Find a way to incorporate them into either your daily routine or your weekly routine, and make sure you're tracking that progress and keeping track of your accomplishments, because the compound effect will work and it will make all of the difference, and you will be so excited to see where you are in 6 months if you stick to this type of schedule. And remember, don't focus on making processes in the beginning, but focus on building habits and showing up every day and taking time for yourself. And that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. I know it was a little bit different than my normal video, a little bit more informal, but let me know if you guys like this type of video, because I can definitely do more. I have so many tips and tricks I can share. And if you guys have any tips and tricks that you want to share for anyone who is trying to figure out how to work full-time or part-time and still have a side hustle, still have a side business, feel free to comment down below. And with that, we will see you guys in our next video. So don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.